Hello everybody. Um, a video that it's overdue for a very long time. Um, keep getting the questions, deal. You're talking about divine time. We all hear it about divine time. We all hear it. What does that mean, divine time? But a lot of the people don't really getting the idea of what the divine time is. I personally do not understood divine time until I went through the exile. And I made a few graphs so you guys can be able to understand it. See, here is about the part of understanding. Because when you look at it, the way we are, the way we acting, the way we've been programming into the world, the way we've been told about things, the way they work, when you become an awakened as a soul, the things are completely different. And it's hard. It's not easy to go ahead and erase something you've been learned for so many years. It's not easy to just let it go of everything that you know. It's not easy to go ahead and abandon anything and everything. But at some point, when you have to erase the wrong programming inside of you, and you need to swap with the new, the one that it's real, then the things gonna begin to fall when it's on place, and then you're gonna begin to understand how everything works, why did it happen to you, and why the things they have to become in divine timing, and specifically what you have to do during the divine timing. Um, at the beginning, the whole situation is when you awake, you still have a lot of things that you do actually here. You go to work, you talk to people, you try to explain it to them who you are, what you are, especially is about the twin flames. You're trying to go ahead and teach, not guide. I said the word teach. You're trying to teaching of people what they should do, what they need to do. A mistake that I personally did while at the beginning, simply because when you don't evolve enough, you don't understand enough. And when I begin to evolve, I begin to understand pretty much a lot of things. I understood the attachments, detachments. I understood what does that mean when you work with someone and what they giving back to you. And there was a point that you need to zip everything. There's gotta be only one connection that it's inside of you, and that will be personal connection between your soul and God, universe. And when you put that in perspective, then you're gonna be moving to the third part. What is actually the third part? It's you to understand the divine timing, how it works, how it operates, and what's involved into. So, to begin with it, so basically, this is you, and that is the universe. So, you living on your ego part, you go to work, you socialize there, you go, you perform something, the work performs something back to you, and you have this magic going on, which is attachment, detachment, attachment, detachments. You go, you come back, you go, you come back. You don't like your work, you go find another job. You're trying to improve, to make it better. What you need to learn to improve on that part as a job is you, not the work. The work always gonna be work. Doesn't matter where you are, what do you do, with who you do. Work is gonna be work. Religion. What the religion is that religion puts you in a box. and they say, well, here's our limitations. You need to be doing this, this, and this, because the way we are, we believe in this, this, and this. And if you believe in this, this, and this, you fit in our box, and this is where you are. So you go out, you do things about the religions go back to you. Still, the only person you need to evolve is you. Mother. Yeah. Well, to me it doesn't apply because I grew up without my parents. But for a lot of the people that I've been working on it, there is their mother has so much influence over them. And you about your mother, what your mother comes back to you, it is something that I see to a lot of people that the parents part is a lot. Friends, a huge thing. Friends, they can go ahead, you go ahead and talk to you, socialize with them, and then they get back to you. They try to tell you what to do. This part right here, by the way, it's very careful who are you giving the keys of you, because that part can influence you so much. Family, cousins, aunts, uncles, grandma, grandpa, they all can influence in you, and you all socialize with them. And then all the energy flows in and out, in and out, in and out, that goes into, it's giving you that part of attachments, detachments, attachments, detachments. Reading, you might reading a books that it can influence you over you, and depends on what you're reading, you're feeding yourself, but also you get back out with that attachment of readings of what others they suggest you to read. That is the information of what just they feed you. That maybe resonate with you, you may need it or may not, but it's a part of a programming. Movies, same way. You look at the movie, you're trying to go ahead and understand the movie, and the movies that you're watching, it's the one that influence on you. So you gotta be very careful what you watching, what is influence on you. If you're watching so much drama, you're attracting drama. If you're watching so much sci-fi, you're attracting so much things that they doesn't have nothing to do with the reality of you. Social circle. You all have a social media, and there is the people that trying to tell you what to do, how to do it. There is some people who's like, hey, here's this link, see what you think about it. Hey, look at this, look this post, this, look this article, look this artist, look this, look that. Just because they like it, they try to force it on you. And all this is you. This is your attachments to others, and this is your detachments to others. The way it goes. And you have another that goes both ways, and that is with God, to the universe. And this is you. This is how you operate. This is how I operate. And this is how life goes on. Until you have enough of all this, because when you understand that you need to evolve, you need to go ahead and detach yourself from any programming, from everybody. The only program that will work is that one here. Simply because your soul communicates only with that. That is your direct line. And throughout this direct line, you live your life as a soul. There is nobody to go ahead and have a direct programming over you. There is nobody else could tell you, hey, do this, and then what happens, you do that, and it's wrong, and then you get mad at them. Now, when you listen to your soul, you do the things the way you need to do, and guess what? You're not mad anymore. Not only at yourself, not only at God, but you're not mad at yourself either. So there is no pointing the fingers at your friends or relatives or anybody, simply because you exiled. This is the part of the exile. You cut all your attachments and detachments. When you cut all those previous things, you cut them off, you still have to perform actions to it, but they don't influence on you anymore. You have only this connection work. Your detachments are done, and you don't have attachments to anything, only within the universe. And when you do that, you basically cross the road. The exile is the part of crossing the road when your divine time begins. There is nothing else that it's anymore up here about you. It's you, God, the universe, the divine. That's it. There's nothing else. And that is the beginning of you living as a soul. In 10, once you've done that, you will begin to understand this over time, not right away. It will take you time to understand when you're crossing the road, the new world the way you are, the new things the way they are, how this operates into, specifically about the twin flames. A lot of the people that I'm dealing with it deal when it's gonna be, when it's gonna be happening. I'm in pain. I'm suffering. He has to do this and this. He doesn't call me. I text him. I know he loves me, but he's still with his wife. All sort of problems. The situation is that you, throughout this connection with your twin flame, is so focused on this part. Well, that part, when you have connection, disconnection between your twin flames, the connection will exist only when you need to exist between you and your twin flame, which is we call the 5D. That is the part when the divine interferes to establish this connection. Just so you can know where are you standing at, where are they standing at in the soul. 99% of the twin flame runners will not admit what's going on in here. And you will know why when I get done with this. So this is you. And you want that perfect love. That perfect divine love that is actually was initiated during the ignition period between you and your twin. And that magical ignition love, it's aligned all those three. And God says, here's the perfect love, here who you two are, and I'll just put you in here so you guys can figure it out how to do it. Do you trust love, or are you gonna trust something else? So, like the most of the twin flames, not understanding this part, how it works, of course, you go back into and you ask your co-workers, you ask your religion, you ask your mother, you ask your friends, you ask your family, you go out read movies, social circle, and guess what? I don't know what to do. Why? Because you don't understand this yet. You don't have the understanding about how the soul it operates, how the divine union operates, what that is. This is the divine union. This is the divine union between you the twin flame, and the God, the source. So to go back into here, this connection is that right here. And this is your personal, as I explained, into the Christianity, into the religion. This is your personal relationship with God, the universe. That is up to you. But how do you talk? How do you get this connection? How this works? Well, this is the Holy Spirit, as I explained, divine guides, angels, whatever you want to call it. They're the communicators between your soul and God and the universe. This is the little voices in your head that tells you, hey, you're doing this wrong. Hey, you need to do this. You need to do that. You see how it feels good when you listen? Great. That is the divine guiding that you get into it. And you know, specifically if you're a female, that's called intuition. The female has the part to listen that pretty much directly. The male, by the way, they have a hard time listen this until that this is ignition coming up. Then they open up their female suppression energy, and then they become more females, and they listen this part. It's very different you to understand things in your level of coachability, and it's very different when you understand and you trusting the whole this process. So here is you trying to influence your twin flame. You trying to tell your twin flame through all this, hey, listen, we are very special. Trust me. But you trying to control this. This is controlled by love. This is not controlled by your own personal desires. You have to let go of personal desires. You have to let go of everything. And you have to learn you to become part with this together. Until this is not done, and you don't have any more influences from anybody, the only influence you leave as an option, that is the God, the universe, to guide you. And that's when the divine time kicks in into you. So, what is the divine time for your twin flame? The divine time for the whole this union to kick in begins when you don't have any more other options available. To me, I talk, only God can love you more than I do. I didn't understood that part until really 100%. I understood this. She does not believe in me. To her, that love, even though that everybody knew it when we were at work, that part to her, it's too much. The silence, the grief, the everything that is there, she prevents that connection. But she cannot prevent this one. So the part is, I'm not worried about this connection right now. That's not my part. It's not my job. I did what I had to do. My job is this. I cannot talk to her directly. If I cannot talk to her, if she doesn't believe me, that I love her more than God will love her more than me. So the only thing that left to happen, it's the divine interference or the divine timing for God, the spirits, to talk to her. Doesn't matter where she is, doesn't matter with who she is, you can't hide from God. You can't just go out there and do things that you think you can do. I've been talking to a few people, but also there was a personal experience. You cannot escape God part. Suicide doesn't work. You can suicide your ego, but not the way it is. You get so mad about it. Well, they hit you with a dark night of the soul and they say, okay, this is your beloved. Now you will know. You think that you can go ahead and live your life just like this, and all of a sudden you're so much in love and you get this part of the numbers, or reading a quote, or something that pops out all the time around you that you don't have escape from it. That's how that communication works. And specifically when something inside of you, all of a sudden you feel of love that you cannot have controls over. You cannot control this. You cannot control this part between God and your twin. You cannot control this part between God and you. When God wants to talk to you, can wake you up at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm talking about. If you're the twin flames and ask me why I'm getting wake up between 3 to 5 a.m. in the morning, that's the favorite time to be talked, because you zip everybody at that time. And this is how you're capable of listening. And this is why at 3 a.m. it's called eternal time, divine time. So, when you completely let it go, you trust and you surrender this part. You don't have anything else except to trust, surrender, to let go into the divine powers to do their job. From now on, once you do this, the divine, they're going to talk to your twin flame. The divine is going to take over your twin flame. What they're going to do to your twin flame is none of your damn business. So a lot of the twin flames, they want to influence their twin. But guess what? When you influence through this connection, you prevent this to work, because you're adding your ego into it. It's the same time it is if your twin flame it's silent about you. Well, guess what? They cannot prevent this part. So there is no escape. The only escape is to trust it. The divine powers will teach your twin flame, not you. The divine times, the divine guides, like God, the universe, they will create the situations about your twin flame to understand this. Not you. They will put through a miserable life, or they can put him through mental illness from their resistance, or they can put him through a lot of suffering until they come up and look up to the divine, or there is going to be so much struggles in life that they are still going to be resisting everything, and that's not your business. What's happening here about your twin flame and the divine is not your business at all. You have to trust this divine time. This is not your business. Again, a lot of the twin flames throughout the 5D connection right here, they want to influence, they want to force, they want to say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. No. All you need to say here is, hey, listen divine, I can't help you. You don't listen, you don't do anything, I cannot help you. You need to listen God. You don't trust me? Fine. Don't look at me, look God. Because that's the only option left. You need to understand that the divine energies, the way they work, they're very miracles. I mean, I've been seeing some things, I've been doing some things that are very, very out of the ordinary. I mean, we were out in Argentina, and there was a situation with a lady that was resisting everything inside of it. She lost her light, she lost everything. And the only person who knows this and experienced it right there, I was one of my translators. She was shocked at what I was capable of doing. But this is the part when you bring that divine energy and you feed it to someone just so you can heal it. But the resistance against this, it's impossible. You can't fight love. Doesn't matter what you do. Maybe 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 20 lifetimes from now. It doesn't matter. It's divine time. When the union will happen, it will happen with this, with the divine powers. And that what the original marriage should be. Not you to go back into society, you get married for somebody else, and you show up in the front circle, look at me who I am. You picked up that person because if society told you you have to get married, maybe your family said you have to get married, maybe your friends told you, hey, it's time for you to get married, maybe your mother said, hey, you need to find a rich man, don't fall for this, don't fall for love lasts for a little bit, or religion views, or your financial security. You get married because it's meant to be. And a lot of the people ask me the questions, Dio, why pretty much all the twin flames are already marriage. They're in marriage, so they can compare their marriage to this. And this is why when you are asked, have you surrendered your soul to God, to Christ, your soul to the universe? If you got married before you ever actually surrender your soul, guess what? You married for somebody who doesn't have nothing to do with the divine. So guess what? You surrender after you got married. Your soul got connected to the divine, and the divine says, hey, here is your real wife. What are you going to do about it? And then, oh wow, now I'm in trouble. And it doesn't matter what you do. This always works. You try to disconnect from your twins. Guess what? The Holy Spirit, the divine guides, the angels comes in. It's like, hey, here's the love between you two. And all of a sudden you're in love that you cannot control. Can you control that part? No, you can't. You try to disconnect, you try to go out with other people, it doesn't work. Why? Because only this is ignited. During the ignition time, that was giving you the roadmap of this. And it's your job to arrive to your points. You arrive to this point after exile and cut all the connections. The only connection you leave is with divine and with your twin flame. There is going to be no connections to your friends, nothing to do with relatives, nothing to do with a religion, nothing to do with work, nothing to do with nothing except those two. You leave God in your twin. That's it. And 10, the divine time will begin. You arrived here. Your divine time already begun. Because you trust, you surrender, and let it go. That is the 3 things that you always have to do during that journey as about divine timing. And it's the divine time when the divine is going to talk to your twin, not you. A lot of the people comes in, but when, I need him, I can't live without him, I haven't been seeing him, I haven't get a text. Divine time. Have you arrived here? That is your job. You to arrive here and establish this connection. What's happening here is none of your business again. I hope this video helps on a lot of you out there to understand. I hope that this part of attachment, detachment, it's more understood. I hope that some of you will go through the exile to understand that attachments and the detachments are needed. Your attachments, it shows you what you will hold on to it so you can let it go. And detachments is to prove you that you actually let it go. And then when you left only with the divine powers inside of the soul, then you will be able to understand a much more clear picture of what your journey is. And you're gonna live the life a little bit better, a little bit on a level of more peaceful from within yourself. So thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you get the points that I'm trying to tell you. And of course, be love.